I mean, be careful with that. How do I stop this music?
How do
I stop the music?
It's under media assets.
Oh, thank you.
They moved
it.
They moved it.
There it
Hey,
is.
everybody.
Hi.
Welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. This is Call Aboard.
That's a tutor.
Yeah. This is our live call-in show here on the Tabletop Express. Call Aboard. We do this every other week, and it is our time to chat with you across a variety of topics. Call-aboard.com is a great way for you to participate, where you can call and be part of the show. But it's the end of the month, which means we're asking a very important question of what was on your table this month. And we're going to talk about some of the games we played, but we want to hear what you played as well, right?
Yeah,
That's what we
of
want.
course.
The whole purpose of
I'm
the
Ryan,
show.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Introduce names.
Yeah, I know. Ryan, I'm Chris.
I'm Anthony.
And like we said, this is Call Aboard, and we welcome you all aboard the Tabletop Express. So with that, February, second month in here into 2025, and
Is this
I
a
will
video
say-
from 5 years ago? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yes.
It's
What?
Oh, baby face
because of
era.
his fresh,
oh,
That's
fresh
true.
cut and his fresh cut and flannel.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, the flannel is inspired because the Boys trailer dropped today. Not a Boys trailer,
Oh.
but a thing dropped for the Boys today that shows that Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins are going to be on the Boys season 5.
I'm
I had
not
to wear
surprised
flannel.
by that, nor do I know who those people are.
I thought you were doing it in protest of the recent changes with the New York Yankees.
Oh
And
no,
You're going against the grain.
no,
You're bringing it back. You're like, listen, this tradition is not
No.
done.
no. I just chose to. But hey, it is 2025, as I said. And in February, I just want you guys to know so
You're
far
pulling up stats.
the month is not over
All
yet.
right, I'll pull up stats too. I'm not dozing off my phone.
No, the month
Yeah.
is not over yet, but I have played 72 plays, 47 unique games.
Wow, look at you.
So
Well, I've done 33 plays, 15 unique games.
I know at least 2 of those games.
You do.
um,
What about you,
What are
sir?
we doing here?
On your-
February 2025, you
Yeah.
said?
yeah, that's what the month is. And-
179 plays,
Whoa,
38 different games.
damn,
Wow.
damn.
A lot of BGA.
That's still pretty
Still,
darn good.
Like I say,
Uh,
you guys gotta be addicted.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So we can jump right into this today about what we played this month. But of course, if you want to be part of the show, call-aboard.com. If you are part of our Discord, we definitely would love to have you call in also and be part of the show. We only ask you to join the Discord so we can verify your humanity and make sure that you aren't a robot or something else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually did trim. I did trim a little bit.
Yeah, we do. We do meet the standards,
And
right?
it shows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My
and-
wife also said I was like a grown
Yeah,
up.
you've got more of a Mattingly because you've got more stash. So
fix those sideboards, Mattingly.
but look,
Oh, it's so good.
oh man. Look, I want to kick it off actually by talking
Good
about
start.
I want to kick this one off though, because I want to talk about one that I had a chance to play. I brought the box.
Ooh, I didn't know it was show and tell.
Yeah, so this is Misfit Heroes by AEG. It's currently on Kickstarter. We got a chance to get a copy of this one in advance. I've had a chance to play a game or two of it. And I just wanted to share some of my early thoughts on it.
Okay.
Just because did get interested to play it, and I'll talk a little bit about the way this game works.
By Phil Walker Harding.
Yes, it is. None of it in PWH. So if you go and bring up some of the collection of cards that are in there,
How's this?
yeah, that works.
You want, like the whole big.
Yeah, do a whole
Brutal.
big, yeah. So here's the thing about this game. This is a game where you are actually, one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to start randomizing the cards, because the cards are all going to get mixed up together because they're overlays. You are going to build out the cards. So there's combinations like that reptilian scientist in another game is going to be something completely different.
Oh, you mean it's like a that canvas game, right?
Oh, this
The
is
canvas, like Mystic
Yeah,
Veil.
It's like Mystic Veil. Yeah. So what's great for
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning
Right.
is another one. So what's really neat about this game in particular, and I'll just read some examples for y'all of some of the ones that randomly happen in my game.
Ooh,
In-
I'll pull up the screen so you can show people.
Yeah. So we had an inflammable princess. We've got
And you can lift these out, right?
Yeah.
So, look at that. So this is just the princess portion.
So
Yep.
how many different layers
There's just two.
can there be? Oh, okay.
There's just 2 layers. There's just 2 layers.
It's like Mad Libs.
Yeah. Like one of these is a poor mermaid,
Oh, okay.
a resourceful barbarian.
So I got a
small world
resourceful
stuff.
mermaid.
Yeah. So again, the variety is there. What you're doing is you're going to be playing the cards in a tableau in this game to collect resources. The resources you're collecting, and if you bring that back up and go to something that's going to show these like squares with points on them,
Squares are they on cards?
they'll be like, if you go out back up, you should at some point see like
This
these
one?
yeah. So you're gonna have these rows essentially that you put on the table, and you're gonna be playing to collect these. So you're playing and building a tableau of cards, all to collect resources, all to collect these, which are worth victory points. Your tableau is also getting you victory points based on different pieces. So based on things you're doing in your tableau, you're scoring points. So there is a points-sality piece happening with that. But the game is definitely, it gets very strategic as you build your tableau, because the different combinations of characters and the way they're built are going to come into play. And so you've got this fun of a tableau, which I obviously really enjoyed. But the fact that you can mix it up. Now, obviously, there's time and effort that takes into mixing it up. So I'll acknowledge that. That's something that if you're the one with the game, you're going to want to maybe mix it up from time to time if you're playing with the same group. But it means a lot of replayability. And I know that there's more on the Kickstarter that aren't in this box. So I didn't see that stuff. But yeah, Misfit Heroes from
Is replayability because of the variety?
Yeah, from a variety, not different types of gameplay, because the tableaus you're building with all the different cards.
Yeah.
And the way that they mix up, you're going to be able to make different perspectives. Now, the gameplay itself, the game is the same.
Okay.
That said, I have not dug into every aspect of the Kickstarter, which could change things up in another way that I'm unaware of. But when it comes down to it, as a Phil Walker Harding game, I will say this. Yeah, it's pretty easy to pick up the concept, get it going.
Okay.
But man, once you get going into this game, you really have to think about that tableau and what you've played down, and strategically what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
Because just collecting resources to get these pieces is not enough. You need to think about the tableau. So there's definitely some decision making in it, but it feels not Phil's, but that makes sense. It feels like a Phil Walker Harding game.
I see.
For by all definition.
It looks like a Fox animation domination show from like the late 90s.
Oh, I can see that.
It kind of does. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right.
And the land is called Absurdia. So even the title works. I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll see there's different and again, actually go back to that other one which has the factions. So just as an example, like there are some icons that represent are they humans, beasts, or misfits? So
or money?
That's not a faction that would get you money. Yeah. But just as an example, you might score points for the amount of humans you have or the amount of beasts you have. But depending how you mix up the cards, the characters will be humans, beasts, or misfits.
Interesting.
Because that's the way their flags are going to show on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's going to change. That's another reason why
probably easy to expand too. That being said, right? If you can fit in another overlay.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
For certainly.
Characteristic or something. Cool.
Certainly. Yeah, but it definitely, like I said, it feels like a Phil Walker Harding game. It's the different attributes, and if you do like those sleeving games, but it's definitely on the lighter side of that. Even though there's a ton of strategy, it's definitely going to go towards the lighter side compared to say. Unless I haven't played Mystic Veil in a while, but compared to like Dead Reckoning, like it's going to be a lighter game.
Yeah.
I think the first game might take longer for some people as they kind of pick up on.
I mean, Phil Walker Harding generally makes, not a lighter weight kind of game anyway.
Yeah,
I like a lot of his games too. I think he does a good job at
I would put the first play at the 45-minute mark, though. Like this is saying 30 to 45 minutes. That first play is going to be a 45-minute game. If you've played it before, it's going to play quicker because you're going to have a better idea of the symbols. You might, especially if you went right back into the same group of cards. Because the other thing is, if you're going to change this up between games, you're going to spend some time changing it up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So because the initial sleeving of these cards took me 30 minutes.
Interesting.
Just to do them. But keep in mind, I did them all. And I pulled them all out and was randomizing. And I did make, and I'm sorry that I didn't think to put this up, I did make a Cosmic Frog.
Oh, yeah, yes, you did.
There is, if you look on the Discord, I made a Cosmic Frog. It's very specifically, and I will not change it. Because for the Tabletop Express, there has to be a Cosmic Frog.
He glued them together.
No, I think
never go anywhere.
Yeah.
Edition.
But no, I really enjoyed it. If that description sounds like something you're interested in, I definitely would say check out the Kickstarter. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
How much is it going for?
That is a great question. If you, I know too, if you bring up the Kickstarter, I know the Kickstarter has like extra packs or like more stuff.
Okay.
Play mats, other things, but also more cards. So that is part of it.
It's coming March 18th.
March 18th, yeah. So it is not quite there yet, but the maximum absurdity. If you scroll down, I know it's not on the screen there. The campaign features a maximum absurdity reward, which combines the standard game with a deluxe pack that provides new playmats, components, additional game content, and a storage solution.
That was what it was called. Card crafting system invented by John D. Clare. Whoa.
Yes, but I like that they're referencing that, and they're giving that kudos to John DeClaire because he really is the one who made that a thing, and so grateful for that. But yeah,
do declare.
But that's Misfit Heroes. So that'll be on, like you said, March 18th. We'll play it, and you guys can talk a little more about it in the future, maybe. But wanted to highlight that.
Would you guys like to travel with me to 2 different cities
right now?
Yeah, right now.
Sure.
I mean, I guess
I'm gonna go walk to one right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk to one.
All right. He's going to a city.
Now, I just started playing this. We're gonna go to City of 6 Moons, discovered by Amabel Holland. This is a game from outer space, and basically, there was a group of scientists that saw aliens play it. The aliens left, and this is what we're left with: a rule book in an alien language, components, and just brief inferences as to what everything is. So yeah, this is I mean, I'm not going to show really close, but this is not in you guys could see this is not in English at all.
Oh no,
this is
it's not in any English.
The game. So you don't know how, isn't this kind of cool? So it's a puzzle kind of thing, right? To figure out how to play the game and then play the game. But it is a solo game.
There's not even like a push for you to start anywhere.
No. Oh yeah, there is. There is.
Oh, okay.
On the very back, are the notes. Notes from of the production, as well as the back of the box has some things. Here, I'll read just the excerpt from the back. As near as I can tell, this is an alien civilization building game for a single player. There only seems to be components and rules for one player, and when I ask them about it, they seem perplexed.
Oh man!
So yeah, I'm pretty excited to dive down this rabbit hole. But that's just a taste of City of 6 Moons as I keep on playing it. But I will take you to another city, and this is the other city I played. I played a game from 2023 called City of the Great Machine.
Okay, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
And I think I saw you soloed this, right?
I soloed it. I soloed it a couple times. So it's it's meant to be a 1v all game where basically it's a big game of hide and seek.
Okay.
There's one player controlling the city of the Great Machine. So you're like this evil, autonomous kind of
like an
machine.
autocrat of some.
Yeah, like an oligarch of some sorts. Like
yeah.
You're going to be basically kind of pushing this agenda, trying to make the clock, which is representative of your agenda, reach midnight.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be like the Doomsday Clock?
Yeah, like the Doomsday Clock.
Because like the Doomsday Clock.
It's like a steampunk Doomsday Clock thing. Let's see if I can find a cool image.
No, I'm just wondering because the concept of the Doomsday Clock, I was just wondering if that's what they were relating it to, or if it was just a clock.
Here's someone's picture that has. Yeah, so there's the clock right there.
Okay.
So that red part over here on the 6, that's how far along they are. You see that red part? That's long.
Yeah.
And they need to get all the way to 12. But while this happens, this clock also represents all of the different citizen types in the city of the Great Machine, because these different citizen types are going to start to be agitated by, I guess, the oppression and all that's going on in the city. So the point is to kind of make them rise against. So at first, like the earliest citizens that are going to be like the artisans, and they're going to kind of join your forces, because what's going to go on is you're trying to incite, as the human players, you're trying to incite riots in a particular zone, and once you have 3 riots in, you win the game.
Got it.
But while this is all going on, the machine has 3 characters it sends out that are trying to tag you essentially and do different bad things. You don't want. So how it works is the human players are going to go first. They're going to decide on this board where they're going to go. So they'll take the card of that position and put it face down. Then the bad guys are going to go and do their turn. After the bad guys go, then the humans carry out their turn and go to where they were supposed to go. So let's say that the bad guys go to the grand square. If the human player played a grand square card, that's where they have to go at the end of their turn, and they could get caught. So it's a kind of like you have to anticipate cat and mouse.
Yeah.
True. And in this, while this is going on too, the board is modular, so much so that it can actually move, because it's like floating and cloud sky stuff. So you could like move the board around, so you can really mess with them, because every time a human player has to, actually any player has to escape a district, they need to spend money. And the amount of money they spend is based on how many guards are there. So some places might be more expensive than others. And if the human player decided to go to a district that's only 1 space away, and then the machine moves it further, then it goes a little array.
Got it.
Now, here's the thing. I haven't done it at 4 players, but I heard it was amazing at solo as well. It does a good job, because what it does in the solo mode is it gives you missions to kind of achieve.
Can you play either side?
Who are you playing?
The humans.
You're the humans. You're not playing as the.
But they give you different objectives to do. So they'll give you different benefits if you complete some specific objectives every turn. But at the same time, those objectives may go against where you should go, because you're more likely to get caught. You're more likely to get caught if you stay in the same place, for example. You're more likely to get caught if you move to somewhere where the machine character is already next to, because they're likely moving up, down, left, right. So that being said, I did enjoy my 2 plays of it, but for solo, it's not for me. I still liked it.
But you still want to play at 4.
I would like to play it at 4, but I'm not in a rush, to be honest. I'd rather play with someone that is really eager to play it at 4. Right. I'm not eager to play it at 4. I would play it at 4. I'm just not eager to play it.
That makes sense. I get it.
Got it.
So, but yeah, City of the Great Machine. That's all right.
City of the machine.
City of right. It's a little presumptuous to just say you're the Great Machine.
Just great and powerful Oz. He got 2.
The Great and Powerful Oz.
The modular aspect interests me. The fact that it's
neat.
So is every game going to be set up differently, or is it all so no games?
There's presets.
Okay.
But you could also do a mix and match.
Okay. So
and what was fun is, by the way, with my plays, I played it with the preset map, and as soon as I was done, the map has changed. It evolved already. So I was like, you know what? Let me try some other characters. and I'll keep the map as is.
Oh, that's cool.
So I get to play with a different map right then and there.
That's neat.
Yeah.
By the way, friendly reminder, people, call-board.com if you want to call in. Definitely let us know. If you're not calling in, but you want to talk about games you played, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll certainly bring them up on the screen and we can chat about them and highlight some of those games. I think my favorite thing, as I always say, is about the end of the month is discovering new stuff that maybe I hadn't heard about.
We're also reviewing games.
Yeah, we're going to review a game tonight. We are, by the way, we decided we are going to try and stick to one review on these episodes and drop other reviews and sprinkle them throughout the channel. But we're going to be talking about The Gang tonight by Kosmos.
Spoilers.
Which is a cooperative poker game. So we're going to talk about that. That was a review copy provided to us by Kosmos as we continue to work through we're through, I think, most of the stuff from PAX Unplugged at this point. This is one of the ones that we have not got to yet, though, and we're going to have a few more to work through.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
I like it, Chief.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you, though? You have not.
What about me?
What
Because you guys don't shut up. That's why I can't. I'm just kidding.
He's got a point.
I played, as I said, a bunch of games. Actually had a really great gaming weekend at a friend's house where there were no children. I got to play games the whole time, and
oh man,
it was awesome.
What is that like?
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't want to leave. I think we played 21 games that weekend.
Oh wow!
And one of them is a game I'm going to talk about now, and that's from 2022. The Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Ooh,
I always mess up.
We all played this one.
I love this one.
Yeah, so I played that in person, playing it on BGA currently, although I think our game is probably over at this point. I got demolished, but I'm really digging this one. This is like, it's almost like a flip and write, but it's obviously a little more, has a bigger footprint. It is very much, multiplayer solitaire. There's definitely not player interaction here. But the whole concept is really neat. If you've played like even Trails of Tucana specifically, it has that vibe with the different terrain types in the map and different things you are trying to connect and things like that. But the way it works is there's a deck of really just 4 or 5 cards. So you're going to see the same things come up each time. And it'll be something like, 2 desert spaces. And then you can mark off, but you're putting cubes on it, these spaces on your personal map. And then another card is going to come up that might say, 3 water spaces, but they have to be in a straight line. So again, you're going to add those cubes. The, catch of this is you've got to start expanding from a village. And so you start with one on your board at the start of the game. But as you explore the different regions, if you can fill up a region type, a terrain type, in an enclosed area, you can then add a new village to that. So, in that picture, for example, if, in sort of the center there, there's like 3 grasslands right there by that gem thing. You filled in all 3 of those, then the whole thing would be done. You take one of your cubes off and replace it with a village. Because at the end of the round, you're going to clear off all the cubes that you used to explore, but keep your villages there, therefore giving you more places to spawn from on future rounds. Very reminiscent of Blue Lagoon as well. It's like similar like that kind of feel. And then you do get to add these kind of rule breaker cards, which are like exploration things or investigations. I forget what they're called. That let you do something different than just the standard terrain types that those 5 there. That shows you all of them right there. Actually,
it's in the middle.
Oh yeah. So those are the 5.
They're represented.
Those are the 5 standard cards that are going to come up.
Yeah.
Right. And then each round you'll get this new one that you'll choose basically, and that's just yours. So whenever that number comes
it's right
out,
here.
You get it there.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be special stuff like discover or explore 1 mountain section and then 3 adjacent spaces or whatever stuff that breaks the rules. Essentially, you're going to try to cover as many of those coin icons as you can see there. That's really how you're going to get a lot of points. In addition to that, there's some parts that are basically wreckage that you're discovering treasure in ruins.
Right.
That lets you draw a cool card that's going to do something more points in a different way. There's also like trading ports that have different values that if you connect, You're going to get some major points there because you multiply the values of them. So you connect a 4 or a 2 or whatever. That's 8 points. There's a lot to, literally explore in this game. Not to mention, there's, I think, 4 different maps that you can play that all do have a different, aspect to them. Like this one in the picture, it has those crystal things that I think is only present on this map. That does, other stuff as well. So really enjoying this one. Looking forward to more plays of it. And it's just one of those things where for me, you play it once, you like it, you play it again, you're like, I could do a little better at this, I think. You play it a third time, like, all right. Now I know what's going on a little bit. Big fan of this. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
You like this one too?
I did like it.
Yeah.
I own this. I have all the maps. I wish they would put out more maps.
They have to at some point.
Like I want more, but it's one of these games that one of the maps actually expands the board.
Oh, okay.
One of the maps and it's on Board Game Arena, if I'm not mistaken, too. That all of them.
If it's on any of these.
But you'll see there's one. You'll know it because there's like a thing on the side of a board that grows it.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's these, and it might have been a promo one.
The maps are big. You are not getting to all the faces on this map. Like,
yeah,
it's
the
not
special order might be the one. Yeah. So it actually, if you look at this.
Oh, okay.
Is it connected?
The bottom. Yeah.
See the piece on the bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the really interesting about this is there's different things you're also trying to accomplish, like the different goals, and they'll be slightly different every game because you're not going to use, even though there's only like a few of them, there's only so much variety. They will get mixed up in what the 3 out there are,
and some are unique to the maps as well.
They're all unique. Each map has, I think, 6 unique ones, if I'm not mistaken. So but you see how it expands it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ryan, I'm surprised that you liked this because
I did.
What? I'm surprised that you liked it. Why did you like it?
Yeah. So I like the aspect where it worked. That it could have been a roll and write, but it wasn't. It has that roll and write vibe to it.
Like the cube.
Not only just a cube, but I like the fact that you can, exactly what you're saying, set up those villages and kind of branch out.
Yeah.
It made it a bit more exciting, and I like the goals in the middle that you have to try to beat out the other opponents to rush to.
Yeah.
That part I did enjoy.
That's kind of a race. You're bound to get, I feel like, much more varied looking maps at the end of this game.
Yeah.
As opposed to you would in like Trails of Tucana, for example. There's only so many things you can cut it.
And this is not a straight up comparison because I realize they're very different games, but like whereas I used to play, say, Tiny Towns all the time, right? Which was, and I'm comparing it not from the game type, but from the fact that they were very solo, independent experience where I'm building my tiny town, you're building yours. When I played this, I remember the first time I saw this, and this is why I mention it. I remember seeing the cubes and go, "Why are there cubes in this? This could be a roll. Like this looks like it's a roll and write, right?" And then you play it, and you have that experience. And you realize, okay, this is cool because you play those cubes down in that first round, and then you have to clear them off.
Yeah,
except for those. And so it was such a neat experience. That, okay,
extend your reach as much as you can, so that you can start.
Yeah, that excitement was what really
cool.
Me in.
Yeah.
So it was such a great use of the cube. So I'm not comparing the games. I'm just saying from when I saw the cubes and the independent feeling of it, but then that experience of clearing the cubes, but then knowing I had this village or I reached these 2 towers. And if I reach 2 towers, maybe I'm getting extra points. Maybe it's like 3 watchtowers or whatever it might be. It was something about that. And it's a smooth play, and you want to play again after you play a game.
Yeah.
And you could easily just say, hey, we're going to sit down and play this game, and we're going to do all the maps.
Right.
And we're just going to do this map
make
and
it a
this
campaign.
and turn it into a campaign and who gets the best score in the campaign.
Brian Chandler is saying this may be the catalyst to get him back on BGA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Set up a game, somebody.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And happy to put a community night together for that if this is something people want to do. We're always down to do something like that. But yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned this one because, like I said, this is.
Oh, Dan, how much did you get this for? Like $6?
Yeah, he got it for cheap with his.
Oh yeah, his mythical Barnes and Noble. I swear.
Yeah, that is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, everything's just like, got it for $4.
Oh my goodness! But yeah,
he's keeping that Barnes and Noble afloat. That's what he's doing.
$7. Oh my
$7.
God.
Look
I
at
don't know.
this.
Hey, they're putting it that price. I don't know how he's saving that Barnes and Noble, but
I would drive there for that.
I know.
Worth it?
Yeah, just stake it out.
Yeah, I would say so.
Good choice.
Yeah, great choice.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great choice. So I want to talk about a game that I discovered that has existed a while, apparently.
Oh,
that's always fun.
Yeah, it's called Cuttle, Cuttle, like the Cuttle fish, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You invited me.
Yeah.
I said no, but you tell me about it.
Okay.
Is it?
So this is Cuttle.
Yeah, that's a cuttlefish, all right.
Yeah, that's a cuttlefish. If you bring up, I don't even
Public domain.
It is a public domain. You play this with a regular set
Ooh,
of cards.
I like that.
So, and so here's the thing about Cuttle. So you're gonna start. You're gonna start with a hand of cards in this game, and your goal is to score 21 points. You're going to play cards down as either permanent cards or point cards. The only other type of card is the 8, which if you play the 8 down, you place it sideways, which forces your opponent, because the cards all have abilities. Not only are they worth potentially, if they're 1 through 10 or ace through 10, I should say. The ace also has an ability, but they also have capabilities. So some of the ones that stand out, just as an example, you might be 2, which allows you to block an action. The king means the score that you need is going to go down. If you actually were able to get 4 kings out on the board, you win right away. That's extremely hard to do. But the goal is to get 21 points. Now that changes again with the king, because you get 1 king on the table. Suddenly you only need to score 14 points. But someone plays another card, such as, I believe it's the ace, they clear all the scoring tokens, the scoring cards on the table. So all these different actions. So you need a reference sheet in front of you.
Yeah.
When you initially play it, but you start to pick up on what they are. So what's great about this is you've got the permanent, which is the face cards.
Yeah.
And then you've got the points, which are the ace for 10. Again, ace has this cool ability to wipe out all the points. Then you could then say, as the other player, no, I'm going to play my 2 to block that action. Then again, you've got the 8 that allows me to see your hand. So they all have these different abilities. Just to highlight just some of the great ways a round can go, just as an example, say I have on the board a king, and 1 king means it's 14 points to win. 2 kings, it's only 10 points to win. So I can make it easier for myself at that point. You may not know, but I then have a jack. Say you have a 10 on your scoring area, and you have no 2s to block me. I can play the jack, steal your 10, and now I just won that round. But all the different abilities on the cards, it feels like one of those games that came out in this past year or two.
Okay.
Like a trio or a mode. It's got enough meat to it, but once you pick it up, it's a simple play.
What year did it actually?
It
say that it was
public? It says public.
The 70s.
Yeah, sometime in the 70s.
Interesting.
Paget.com dates it to the 1970s at the latest.
Yeah. No, the other important action in this game is the scuttle action that I need to point out. The scuttle action would be, say you, Anthony, are the person I'm playing, and you have a 7 on the board. I could play an 8 down simply to remove your 7, and both are discarded. So they can play a higher card. So the higher card you play, the harder they are for someone to scuttle and knock out. But it plays really quick. But again, simple actions. You just need to know what all those are. But once you start to pick them up, you're gonna get that idea. Like I know, for example, I believe it's the 4. You play a 4 down, and I'm going to be able to then draw 2 cards from the deck, pick 1 to play. Or no, I think actually that's the 7. But again, the point is, I printed out a reference sheet for this, and we played this over dinner, and everyone picked it up after like 1 go around.
Nice.
So, but again, I didn't know about this. It went on Board Game Arena, and I checked it out. I said, this is fantastic. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. And yeah, this was a big one for me to kind of pick up and have some fun with. And
nice. Random, but exciting.
Yeah. It was but that's Cuttle, like the Cuttle fish.
Adorable.
Yeah. And again, you can play this at home. That's the biggest thing.
You too can play public domain 70s game.
I will tell you though, if you do this and you want to play this, go to do yourself a favor, go to Board Game Arena first and download their guide.
Okay.
Because the guide they put on Board Game Arena is better than anything on the BGG forums.
Interesting.
It's really well done. So
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was Cuttle.
Yeah.
Cuttle.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
You, me.
I can go.
Good.
I can go. So, I was gonna go right into it. I played Slay the Spire, the board game.
I was waiting for this one. I can't wait to hear about this.
Okay. All right. So first of all, Slay the Spire is a digital deck builder. It's a solo roguelite deck building game where you are going to just be playing cards to fight bad guys and to just keep going down, or rather going up the spire. You are going to be taking out different bad guys by playing these cards, and you're just trying to maximize your score. Pretty much the game. What's interesting about it, though, every time you die, which you will die, and you will die a lot, you usually unlock cards, and some of the cards are very broken. So it's
intentionally
broken because it's entertaining to find these combos and just to synergize all on top of it. And the numbers are outrageous. Like you'll be doing 10 damage, 20 damage, 500 damage.
What?
It could be crazy. Yeah, you can get into like these crazy broken combos. And I'm like, this is so well designed. This is clearly done by someone that loves deck builders.
Yeah.
And you can upgrade cards and they'll stay permanently upgraded for the rest of the game. So when it came to a board game version of this game that is a deck builder that works amazing as a video game, no way it's going to work great as a board game, I was skeptical. Okay. There was a Kickstarter campaign. It was like $100 for the game. It's like, I don't know. I love Slay the Spire, the video game. I can't see a board game version as anything more than just a you know, like it's riding the coattails of it. But it's a solo deck builder roguelite. I decided to buy it after a lot of praise because I'm like, this is just
because because after PAX Unplugged, you're almost
I kicked myself like maybe I should have so maybe I should have done it, you know. I didn't. So then eventually I did.
Yeah.
New printing came out. I'll pick it up. I'll try. It was $100.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe it'll be worth it.
It's a big Spire.
It's a big Spire that comes with like over 600 cards and 450 sleeves. Because as I mentioned before, cards are going to be upgraded. And much like the mechanic you may be familiar with in paperback adventures, the cards are double-sided.
Yep.
And the sleeves are just card backs.
Gotcha.
Okay. So let me find some good pictures of some gameplay. Because I didn't take any pictures. I was just too busy playing. But
you usually yell at me when I don't take photos.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'm just gonna say.
Well, here it is in all its glory. So that's one of the characters. That's the Ironclad. There's 4 different characters. They all play completely different, by the way.
Okay.
Ironclad's very straightforward. You're just kind of punching and stuff. Have you played Slay the Spire?
No.
Oh man. Okay. I want to get your opinion on it when you do. But you played it.
I played it.
I'll still take your opinion, but I really want to get your opinion.
I got it.
So instead of doing like 800, having 80 health points, you have 10 health points. Yeah. And instead of doing like 6 damage, do 1 damage. Okay. So the stakes are lower, but the fact that those numbers are lower means the consequences are a bit more dire.
Okay.
And as easy as it is to play Slay the Spire, the board game, I mean the video game, where you just go in and just try to max out your run, and you're probably gonna die anyway, so might as well go out all. Oh, I'm dead. I guess I'll restart. There's a bit more dire consequences here because when I need to restart, I gotta reshuffle everything.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta restart everything. So it's a bit more dire, and I did like that. But for solo, I didn't like it as much as playing the video game.
Okay.
However, the video game does not offer multiplayer.
Okay.
This does. And I've been playing it 2-player.
It's cooperative?
It's cooperative.
Okay.
Because every character has their own line of bad guys to fight, and the bad guys only fight the line the lane they're in. But you as the character can fight whatever lane you want.
Okay.
And let me tell you, 2-player, phenomenal. Extremely well done.
So when you're soloing it, you're doing it two-handed now,
or playing with my son,
right?
Who is having a great time with it. And with this game, it doesn't feel like an adaptation, so much so as it feels like a sequel to Slay the Spire.
Interesting. Okay.
And I am digging it so much because of that feel where you have it does feel like that sequel. It was clearly well thought out how to translate this into a board game and still evoke that feeling of doing insane combos without a lot of rules overhead that the computer takes care of you. You don't have that, but you still have that satisfaction.
So it has the flow then, because the game, to your point, does take care of some things.
A lot of things.
So you don't feel this didn't feel like, from your experience, a game that was there was like a bunch of downtime trying to figure out, okay, now I have to do this. There was a good flow.
There was a great flow.
Okay.
And what's cool about it is the game is split up into acts. Okay. Every act of this game is, if you want to complete an act, it's going to be like an hour to an hour and a half. That's what it says on the box, and it's pretty true, to be honest. Maybe even 2 hours if you're playing with a 6-year-old. But it's so satisfying when you get to that end, and you get very close. I've lost a bunch of times. The first couple times I was playing like it was the video game, and I was getting slapped real bad. I changed my perspective. I guess blocking is more important in the board game, and it's a lot more satisfying. I'm having a great time with Slay the Spire, the board game. I look forward to trying it with both of you. I think you would like it. It's a 2024 release. It's a good candidate for a potential top 10s of 2024.
We're gonna do that list too, right? When's that supposed to be?
April.
That list will be in April after all of our top 20s.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry. Over 730 cards and over 450.
Oh, wow. Sleeves. By the way, Danielle talking about that FOMO.
This is when I backed and hoped they didn't have buyer's remorse, and I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to play it at 2 players. And I'm telling you, that's where it really shines. Because for solo, the original game is like the video game is amazing.
I remember people loving
it's still great.
Talking about it.
It is a great game. I think it's on Game Pass if you have Xbox and you
just get on the Switch. It's on iPhone now and Android.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if anyone has an Xbox and has Game Pass, I'm pretty sure you already have access to it.
It's already in the top 100. That's crazy.
That is insane.
That's a lot.
That is nuts. But I definitely want to try this ahead of that top 2020 list for 2024. My 2024 games played, I'm at 125 games published in 2024. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be a difficult list to narrow down to 10. Let me just tell you that much. Marcel's here for another Wednesday. Well, it is. We're glad you're here.
Happy Wednesday.
What's up? Hump day.
Oh yeah, and here's the board, by the way, that you're climbing up. So this green boot meeple represents your party, and you're going to be climbing up this spire, deciding what room you want to go to. If you're going to go to a regular encounter, a question mark encounter, which could be pretty much anything, a elite encounter, which are harder bad guys, a fire pit to just heal or upgrade a card. a merchant to buy cool things, treasure to unlock
that's
relics,
cool. Are there...
and then the big bad boss,
and that's Act 1.
Is Act 1.
So the boards for other acts are going to be different.
Yes, but parts of it. So parts of it are the same, parts of it are different. That you see, like the chits over there.
Yeah.
You shuffle, you randomize those, and you kind of place them down. Act 1 has a double-sided board for Act 1, and then so it's 2 different potential routes.
Yep.
And then Act 2 has 1, Act 3 has 1.
Oh man, cool. Yeah, I definitely want to try this one. By the way, good. A man of the meeples in the house. Good to see you, my friend.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. I agree with that.
I am even going to say go Birds right
now. Go Birds.
Take that for what you will. So yeah.
And some of you take it harder.
Yeah. But no, I definitely want to try this one. This is one I want to play. This is on the list. I know we are still trying to get SETI to the table, and that's the other 2024 game that I really want to play ahead of that list. These are the 2 that I have to play ahead of that final list that we do in April.
Because you want them to be there so bad.
I don't know that it will be, but I gotta know.
Well, I gotta finish my current run with my son. It's so you could save it. So our progress is saved right now. We've done 2 acts. So his character, which is the Silent, and my character, the Defect, are both saved. So if I wanted to play it right now, I would only do 2-player, and I would pick either the Ironclad's the easiest, and then the Watcher's the hardest in terms of like complexity.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the video game like that also?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they start you off with the Ironclad, then you go to the Silent, then you go to the Defect, and then you go to the Watcher, and the art's really unique. They did it's fun. Anyways, Slay the Spire.
Dan, let's see what Dan got to the table. Seas of Havoc, Fellowship, Trick Taker, and Mind Management to the table this weekend. Those are some good ones. I'm interested, Dan, how many people for Fellowship? Because I've now played it at 2, 3, and 4. 2 was math for me. 3 was pretty good, and 4 I love it at. So intrigued where you played it at. And Seas of Havoc, Dan and I obviously.
4, he said
4. Okay, yeah, that's the right count. I agree.
You got it right, Dan. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Dan.
All right, I got one more game I'm going to talk about right quick, and then we'll move on. We have talked a little bit about how it's like the time of like the little card game, right? This is like really shining. A lot of them are coming out that are really good. And on that said little weekend I was talking about earlier, I played this game called Push, which came out in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
From Ravensburger. I think Prospero Hall published this or designed whatever. And it is, again, just a small card game with 1 chunky die. This is a push your luck set collection kind of thing. And it is very simple, but man, we played it multiple throughout the weekend because it was just that much fun. Essentially, if you're, the active player, you're going to start drawing cards from the deck, and you're making up to, I think it's 3 piles. Yes. The caveat being that you can't have repeating numbers or colors in a pile. So at any time you can stop drawing cards and collect, but you can keep going. You can fill up all 3 of these as big and full of stuff as you want, as long as there's a legal place to put the card. If there's not, you bust, you have to roll the die and possibly discard some of the things you've already collected. So let's say you don't bust and you choose one of those stacks to take, separate them by color, put it in front of you in your little tableau. But at some point, I think it's called your bench. At some point, you can lock those points so they can no longer be taken away from you. But if you roll that die and you get red, and you've got 11 points of red cards in front of you that were not folded over yet, that stings for you because you're going to lose all those points. So it is very much a just hit me again. Let's see how much we can do here. And there's even, ways to, someone could get stuck with nothing at all one turn. And you can switch then who's getting the next pick and things like that. Just so simple, very, easy to play, obviously. And we just played it, like I said, multiple times because it was that much fun. A great filler game, start the night, end the night, middle of the night, whatever. It just fits in everywhere. And again, it's just something else. I've seen it before. I've seen the cover 100 times. never thought to just look at it, and there it was. We played it multiple times. Good stuff. Push.
I can't believe this was only 2018 because I have this. I have a very worn down copy of this. This has been played at dinner for a long time. This is one of the ones that comes out a lot. Our cards are so beaten at this point. But it is fun, and there is that moment because there is the card that might get played that guarantees that whoever has to take that pile is going to roll the die. And there's this really satisfying feeling when someone gets forced to roll the die because of you, and then like their gigantic pile of high value cards is suddenly wiped. And so it's a highly
and there's one die face that is a safe that if you roll that, you have to discard anything.
Is that the star?
That's
the star. Yeah. But it's awesome.
Yeah.
Fun. It's a game that is all about pushing your luck. Literally, it's called Push. And that weight is extremely accurate. Anyone can pick up and
about stocking stuffers or gift for somebody for whatever or something that
it's
you're tired of playing.
Solid case.
I don't remember what.
It's not like a black box. Yeah. No, it's a solid box with like
there's a couple of different boxes. Which one will you have? There?
I have the one that's kind of like a full box with like almost like a plastic clear top that you can see the die.
This one?
Oh, interesting.
No.
I'd have to check, but it's a solid box for mine. Not that. It's not one of those. It's that one. It's
this one.
Yeah, the front where you see the die.
Oh, neat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you see it. But it's good.
If I see this on sale or something, I think I would definitely pick this up.
Yeah, this will be
not too far.
This will be a Dan Nixon Barnes and Noble special for you.
That's true. Dan is probably buying 20 right now.
They're just giving away as you walk out the store. Here's your free copy of Push.
Marcel chime in. What do we got here? Architects of yes. Azul Duel, which and then
duels are so hot right now.
Yeah, and then and Marcel, I talked about Cuttle a little bit because that's one
of my friends told me today. He's like, duels are so hot right now.
They are though,
right?
They are.
King of Tokyo duel, Azul Duel. What was the other duel that just came out?
I don't know which one just came out, but they just announced Flamecraft.
Yeah, Flamecraft Duel with
Duos, it's called.
Duo.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what the gameplay is like at all. I just saw the image today.
Yeah.
But there's a Takedo as well.
50 cents at Barnes Noble for a Push.
There you go.
Oh
yeah, jeez. No, it is really interesting. The duos. I was talking to Mr. Rao, and I think we may end up doing a duel versus duel video where we compare two likewise ones.
Duel of Fate.
Yeah. You got to play that the whole time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that video is copyright restricted.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can't.
But it is interesting. We see these little movements, right? There's always been the dice version of a popular game.
Yeah.
We've seen the kids version, my first of a certain game of a popular adult game. And again, now this is something that just seems to be a thing, the 2-player only version of stuff.
2-player only versions.
And again, if it works, it works. I mean, we talk about how much Splendor Duel surpassed playing Splendor at 2 players, by far.
7 Wonder Duel,
obviously, is a game changer.
That destroyed 7
totally
Wonders
different.
For me.
It's good. It's interesting.
And I will say, I don't know if I want to play Azul Duel in person, but I'm really liking Azul Duel. It feels like a very different game. Marcel mentioned it.
Yeah.
It feels like a very different game. It is one I want to play in person. But I have enjoyed it online, and I'm glad I have access to it online. It is one I will eventually pick up.
Okay.
No question. But if I will say that one, I'm grateful for Board Game Arena more than anything lately, just because so many of the games I've been able to play. The other one he mentioned, by the way, the Architects of
I played that with you.
I've enjoyed that one as well. Fun. I'm not rushing out to buy that one, but I'm enjoying playing it online. So Board Game Arena is dropping some goodies lately, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like they're revving up their releases with stuff too. I don't know. It's a lot of I guess, like I said, I'm fairly new to the scene overall, so for me it's still like a lot going on, but it is fantastic.
Yeah. If anyone does want to call in, we'll give you a last chance here. Call dashboard.com. The one thing I have to tell you, I won't go into while we give people a moment just in case someone is going to. I do have to tell you both. I played I don't want to even call it the kids version because quite frankly, it's a ton of fun, like no matter what your age, but the Quacks and Company. And I just want to tell you, I played Quacks and Company. And I kind of I really like it a lot. It has the same vibe. It's simplified, but even as like my wife and I are playing it, we overall like the general play of it. It's simplified quacks. It plays quicker. The box itself is essentially has the market built in, and as opposed to being on your own board, you're just going up a board you're competing up a board together to race to the top.
Oh, it's a co-op.
No, you're racing. It's a race. You're racing to get to Quedlinburg. You're racing to get to Quedlinburg.
Oh, okay.
Where then the Quacks of Quedlinburg would take place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a ton of fun, and there's a more beginner side, and there's an advanced side. But I also have not won this yet. Continuing my general luck in Quacks of Quedlinburg.
So it's a faithful adaptation.
Yes, I've come in last.
So it'll be 3-4 years.
I've come in last every single time I've played it. So, but I want
keep at it. Kid.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that one just because that was one that I had mentioned in the Discord, and we did get to play it. So
on that note, Marcel bringing up that they finally played Quacks with the Herb Witches.
Oh yeah,
expansion.
I do like that expansion.
Yeah, some game breaking stuff left and right there. I like that one as well.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. Obviously, you did, didn't you?
No, I played at your house, but I didn't play. I don't believe we played the herb rules.
Maybe we didn't do the witches. I'll have to. We might not have. I'll change that. But yeah, I guess with that said, one of the things, like we said, that we want to do, we want to try to more focus on reviews. So you're going to find our individual review videos that we're going to drop on the Discord. We'll make note when those reviews are out. Actually, we should add a review section on the Discord with that in mind, just so people can find them easier. But for Call Aboard, we want to keep your attention and focus on one thing so it can give you a little bit more detail. So we're going to talk a little bit about one that was incredibly popular, in particular PAX Unplugged. This was everywhere. This is The Gang. It's by Kosmos. It is a cooperative poker game, 3 to 6 players. They say 10 and up, and they say it plays in 20 minutes. This one is designed by John Cooper and Corey Heath.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about The Gang. So cooperative poker, how does that work?
Anthony, take it away.
Well, the way it works is I think the theme that they slap on here is it's a sort of a heist, right? That we're trying to pull off together.
Yes.
By, I guess, doing our parts at a very specific time in the right order. So it's one of those games where you can't communicate a whole lot, but you have to sort of start to feel out mentally what people are kind of thinking about, a la like the mind kind of a thing. Essentially, you're going to play really like Texas Hold'em, where you're going to get a starting hand and sort of decide how good or bad you think your starting hand is. And each round, there's these chips that have values on them of a different color for each round. And essentially, you're trying to take the chip in order of how strong you think your hand is compared to your team.
Right.
So that if you have dealt, 2-9 offsuit, and if you know poker, then you understand what that means and how that's not the best thing. You're probably not going to be running for that top tier chip because you probably don't have the best hand. But that's going to happen after each part of the game. So you've got your flop when these 3 community cards come out, and everyone again is going to reassess what's in front of them and do the same thing, reach for those chips. Now there'll be a different color this time, and then a different color for the final, the river card, right?
Yep.
And then we would do basically a reveal in sort of order, like, all right, who's got the lowest hand? And if it's right, great. Who's got the next, the next highest hand? Is it you? Awesome. Who's got the next highest? Is it? Oh, no, we got out of order there, right? We flipped.
Yep.
And that's how you don't succeed, right? You've got to do it, I think, was it 3 times?
I think it's 4.
4 times successfully to win the game, so to speak. But then it's listen, it's hard.
It is.
This is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for a couple of reasons, right? Obviously, the whole fact that you can't just really openly talk about what's going on in your hand is one thing, but it takes a while to, if you even do, get the vibe and get on the wavelength of your team.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it really, if you play Texas Hold'em ever, this is almost like, well, how do you play poker when you play? Are you an aggressive player? Like, do you think this is a good hand? Do you not care about the odds and you go for it anyway? It's a really meta thing. It's such a weird thing, but in a very cool way. And again, super popular at PAX. That table was always crowded. I think this is a great concept for a game because of how popular Texas Hold'em is and has grown over the last couple of decades with, the World Series of Poker and all that stuff. With pop culture, it's really kind of become mainstream. And so if you are a fan of that at all, I think this is something that you have to try once, or that you certainly would want to introduce to anyone who's a fan of poker.
Now, we should point out there's other cards in the game that add different abilities, things like that are going to change it up. So, for example, the Informant, one of you shows the other player one of your pocket cards. The Getaway Driver, one of you shares with everyone which hand ranking, high card to a royal flush, your hand currently has. So things are going to change it. You've got things that just change up the game to add that heist theme into it. And you could debate all day long how, theme or not theme, but the cards have abilities, key abilities, and it is 3. So, for example, we have the 3 treasures, the 3 vaults, and then essentially, if these are the 3 vaults cards, and then if you can't get into said vaults, one thing is the alarm's going to go off. 3 alarms go off, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me, by the way, if you've not played poker before, they did do one of the. This is handy. It's handy for if you haven't played poker because it tells you all of them.
I'm going to be honest, though. If you haven't played poker, I don't think you should play the game.
No.
It's not like with the crew, you haven't played trick taking, you could jump right in.
No.
You have to have played poker before playing the game.
I agree.
I would echo that.
It takes the teach from a teach to no teach at all, right?
Yeah.
If you know how to play poker, there's like the teaches seconds. If you've never played before, it's going to be kind of tough.
If you have someone who's constantly got to refer to where is this, it's going to take away from that gameplay. Yeah. So I would echo that same sentiment. And I think the biggest, and I've heard people who disagree with this, which is fine. Everyone has a right to their opinion, but I don't want to teach someone to play poker and then teach them to play this game. Because then by the time we get to this game, we're now nowhere near getting to advancing the game into the more advanced version, which I want to be able to get into. And so that's one of the biggest things to me. I mean, I will say from a component perspective, good poker, solid,
good poker chips.
Yeah. Good solid poker chips that, it's quality for that. The 3 to 6 player count is the right count. So you're going to want to obviously have at least 3. The more players, the harder it is.
Yeah.
But that almost goes without saying, but I'm going to say it just as a,
because you have to have, it's the thing. You have to have them all in sequential order.
Yes.
Whoever has the highest poker chip has to be the highest, and then the second highest poker chip has to be the second highest.
Yeah.
You can't.
You play with 6 people, you could make it all the way down, and the last 2 people are in the wrong spot, and you lost.
And that's rough. Like, I don't know if I would want to play this game at a higher
player count. We played at 4. It was
I think hard enough.
I liked it at the 4 player count.
Yeah.
I did like it at the 4 player count. Again, we're talking about a game that I know was incredible. And again, if you like poker, this is a game that you're going to feel incredibly comfortable picking up.
Yeah.
For that reason. But I like that comparison that you make to the crew, because often I feel like we compare things to a game and maybe it's a stretch. In this case, that comparison that you're making of this isn't like the crew is accurate, where you can't just go in and pick up trick taking with, which you can with the crew. You can learn trick taking with the crew. I don't think you should learn poker with this. I agree with you both.
So I'd like to give my point from the perspective of, I know how to play poker. I don't like poker.
Okay.
Yeah.
The gang is fine. It didn't blow me away. I could see the enjoyment for people who really like poker.
Yep.
I am not that person. but even then, I still enjoyed the cooperative nature of it, and I like the tension that is there of, am I really going to go for this? Am I not going to go for this? Because it's kind of like, it's got that medium mind reading kind of vibe. Like, you got to know what your opponent has, because you also depend on two things. One, do they know how to play poker? Two, do they know how to play poker well? Because poker is a bit of a skill too, you know? So, like, I'm not good at poker. I'm not good at poker.
Oh, me neither.
You know?
But I enjoy it.
But I'll enjoy it in like that setting, you know? So the gang, I'm just gonna give it a number right now.
Go ahead.
I'm giving it a 6.3.
Okay.
Because I think it's fine. I would never rush out to play it. But if the group wants to play it, I'm cool with playing it, because at least it's got that cooperative vibe.
Yeah.
Where you have this tension with each other.
Yeah, and I think I like that you point out the comparison of someone who likes, because I agree with you. I think if you like poker, this is a game that, if you've got a group of people like poker and you want to mix it up in a different way, this might be something that does it for your group. I don't play poker all the time, but I do love when I get a chance to get into a game of poker with a low buy-in and just get a game in. I'm not particularly great at poker, but I have a good time with it.
Yeah.
So for me, this lands at a 7.5. And it's a game I'm going to play. If you ask me to play it, I generally enjoy playing it. In the world of the other games I can play cooperatively, it's not the first one to the table. But if you're saying, want to play the game, yeah, every time. No question, I'll jump into the game. I'll play the game. It is a solid game. Overall, I think it's designed well. I think it's designed, in my opinion, to the point of what I've said already, for people who know poker, even though that I know, and was hearing from people like, well, no, you don't need to know poker. And even from design perspective, but for me, it just plays like, poker, this is going to be more likely to be a hit for you. So if you like poker, I think you should try this out. I'd be really intrigued by a collection of people who play poker every week with their perspective on this, because I'm a casual poker player.
Yeah, it's what I was trying to think of, like, is there a big enough crowd for this game? Because I know there's certainly an overlap of people who play board games and people who play poker. There has to be. How big is it? I don't know. And of that section, though, how many people would want to do this more than once? I think this almost feels like a challenge, like a poker challenge to do. And then you do it once, and I don't know that you would never do it again. Right?
Yeah.
Like, in college, we used to play poker a lot, but we used to play sometimes dealer's choice, where everybody would just play a different game. And there was a lot of really kind of out there stuff. This feels like something that somebody kind of made up back then, and it'd be like, oh, this is cool. It's different. But I'm in between the two of you. I'm definitely not going to run out and buy it. I think most of the time I would play it if somebody wanted to play, if they knew how to play poker.
Yes.
That would be a big caveat of, like, literally, I would say, right now, if someone says no, I'd be like, I don't want to play this game. So I'm at like a 6.8, I think.
Cool.
But it's cool. I like that it exists.
Yeah.
It's a very cool concept.
And ultimately, if again this interests you, have any questions about the gang, let us know. Like we said, this was provided to us by Kosmos. And I will add, this has the vibe to me of a con game, though, in the sense that I could see this being something that comes out in some of those really large group settings, things like that.
Well, not too large.
No, but again, where you are going and going to be playing with a collective different group of players who know poker again. And I think that's a key for all of us. We've all mentioned the fact that we think you should know poker.
100%.
Yeah.
And you're going to see, candidly, if you look up our reviews of this, I'll be honest, I guarantee there's a bunch of people say you don't need to know poker. So we collectively think you need to know poker, and that's obviously our take. But
you're teaching two games, then, essentially. You're teaching poker first, and then this weird other cooperative version of the game that you just taught me about, where I'm trying to be the best at it.
And again, because then it's going into the more advanced stuff that's in it, which I want to be able to get into. So that is the gang. Again, thank you to Kosmos, as always. We really appreciate that. And any questions, let us know in the comments.
I do want to bring up one thing about the game, by the way. It is MSRP of $15. I think that's a pretty fair price.
I think that's pretty fair.
I agree.
Considering how many poker chips you get.
It's pretty good price.
And again, there's the deck of cards that comes in it is a good quality deck of cards. Yeah. It's not a cheapo deck either. So it feels like not quite.
I was expecting more than $15. To be honest.
Yeah,
probably could have done 20 because of the chip.
See that price for stuff.
Yeah.
Well, good on Cosmos.
And I will say I did when I thought about the reason I mentioned the card quality is it's not quite what you get if you order one of those packs that's like from the casino, but it's better quality than like something off of the, you know what I mean? Like it's somewhere in between for me. So
it's not your typical gift shop playing cards.
Right. It's not your gift shop playing cards, but it's not the casino.
It ain't your grandma's playing cards.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is
back when I was running
the gang. Dan, by the way, saying, my God, Dan commenting, by the way, I demoed the packs and it didn't do anything for him. So again, it may not be for you, but I think again, if it's something that you like poker, check it out. And for $15, I mean, like I said, Dan's gonna find it for $5. We're just
$15 if you buy the crew.
Buy
the crew.
But again, that is our review for tonight. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, exciting, guys. This is exciting. Don't end this yet.
I'm not.
Don't end this because something is coming and it is
something big.
It is big. It is our top 20.
Here I thought it was Twinkie the size.
No.
35 feet long.
Top 20 board games of all time series. It is our, I don't want to call it our favorite time of year, but it's a fun time of year.
Not my favorite time of year.
PAX Unplugged is our favorite time of year. Let's be real.
So hold the phone. We're going to have each of us do a top 20 board games of all time.
Correct.
Okay.
In addition,
I'm
just going to announce it right now. We are going to have returning guests for their top 20s as part of our series. Danielle, who you can find on her YouTube channel as well. We're going to have Arwen back this year.
Cardboard time.
So that is obviously exciting. And Mr. Rao is back with his top 20. First up, however, next week, Anthony is going to be sharing, and I believe you got a special guest.
Special guest, my fellow brother in the birds, Mr. Daniel Nixon, will be joining me as my co-host on this adventure.
Dan, the gang did nothing for him, Nixon.
That's right. I do not hold that against him. I get it.
Yeah, and I will say we have some of these already scheduled. You will see them. They don't have the beautiful thumbnails yet, but they are scheduled, so you'll have an idea of when they're coming. Obviously, on Wednesdays, we're going to be doing our usual schedule, but there'll be some Thursdays or Tuesdays or something else in there.
We'll change it up a little bit.
So be on the lookout for that, and we hope you will tune in. Lastly,
but not leastly,
sometime next week, I will be putting out the form to you, the community, for our community top 20, because our top 20 series ends with our community top 20. So please make sure you complete that, fill that out before I think we'll probably say the middle of March. I'll put the date on there just so we have time to build that list and review your results. But please fill that in because we want it even bigger than last year.
Yeah. Make other people do it too.
That's right.
Share it around. And
we should do a contest.
Yeah, I think we should
make those Food Chain Magnate fans.
Oh my no!
What?
You're not going to stack this with Food Chain Magnate.
All right.
We're not stacking the cards here. I know. But invite people to participate and share it. We definitely want all that feedback. With that, thank you for tuning in. This has been Cole here on the Tabletop Express. We'll see you next week as we find out what Anthony's top 20 board.
Bye, everyone.
Cover the hole again.
There you go.
A little bit of gusto.
I mean, not really. I don't know. All right.